Hello friends and welcome back to the first NA qualifier. It is the Heroes ESL Spring Regional Qualifier. I am Gillyweed. This is Zoya. That way. How you doing, friend?
Doing good. I'm really excited here as we have a really fun match coming up. It's going to be Cloud9 going up against SINIX Reverse. Cloud9 being considered one of the best teams in the world, potentially the best team in North America. They did recently have a upset at Esports Arena when they lost to Bob Ross fan club, but they were still very new to the roster. They had 4 days of practice, less than like 5 scrim blocks with Arthlon, and they're preparing to travel to China very soon. So with them being rested, with them being home, and back in North America, I'm really curious to see how well they're going to do in this tournament.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see. They won't actually go up against each other until, if it would be, I think, the finals, because they're in the lower half, of the bracket. The seeds 1 and 2 are against each other, and we don't know if the finals are actually going to be played out, but I hope they are, because I want to see on like even terms this time. Although definitely even terms last time, because Bob Ross also had a newer player. But once again, if Bob Ross can defeat Cloud9 and prove that they are the #1 team and they have dethroned Cloud9.
I don't think they play in this tournament. If they're on opposite sides of the bracket, I don't think we play out the finals, so they wouldn't face off here.
Okay.
So it'd be at the spring. If they both qualify, it'd be at the spring championship for North America.
Okay.
But guys, the draft is starting here. We got Cloud9 with that first pick, first ban. They're gonna deny Zagara on Sky Temple. Kel'Thas going to be banned out by SINIX Reverse. Both pretty common bans, but Cloud9 locking in that Tyrande first ban. That is so exciting to me, because I love K1 Pro's Tyrande. I love Dunk Train's Tyrande too. Whichever way they decide to go with it, man.
Yeah, K1 Pro, I mean, even before Tyrande, the changes to Shadow Stalk that really brought her in for like the solo support level, K1 Pro was a beast with her, and we saw that. I believe America's Championship was really big, where they were playing her on Blackheart's Bay, and the power of being able to stop the turn-ins with her has been huge. Just the power of the vision that she provides, as well as utility and heals now on top of that too, even with her changes. I love being able to actually see her again in games and not just have her banned out constantly. But one that we are seeing banned out constantly now seems to be KT.
Yeah, soon he might. So he's in an interesting spot, because in Hero League, his win rate's about 50-54%. It's I don't remember exact words, but it's actually not the worst win rate we've seen. But it's definitely very common ban in North America. First pick, first ban. So hopefully we see some tweaks to him. Stitches being picked up here. I had a long talk with Soldier. He was the former Warrior main for Tempo Storm. He now plays Assassin, but he was telling me that that Kim and some other Warriors always felt that Stitches was on the verge of viability, potentially was viable before the buff to his damage, before the scaling changes. I mean, we saw Bob, which eventually became Dignitas, which got second place at BlizzCon. They ran Stitches for a very long time in Europe. They're the only team to do it. But Soldier was telling me how he felt that this Warrior was always potentially viable in certain compositions he is, and oh no, Cloud9.
Are we doing it?
I don't know what they're doing.
Oh, they're messing with our hearts. Yeah. Well, Falstad is still really awesome. Did have a little bit of a change, kind of. It seemed to be in one of the groupings of changes that they talked about, Blizzard did in the patch notes, and that they want those high value reward heroics to feel more like they do more, I guess, would be the thing. So Hinterland's Blast, I believe the damage was increased, but so was the cooldown.
Yes. Was that this patch? I believe it was.
Yes, that was.
So
along with like Falling Sword, Stage Dive, Summon Syndragosa. A lot of those things were changed, and some things buffed, but a lot of times the cooldowns also increased to make them feel more valuable and do more. But we haven't really seen Hinterland's Blast. It's been Mighty Gust.
Yeah, it's been a lot of Gust. I mean, and Gust might be one of the best heroics in the game, in my opinion. It is so good. In a fall set that knows what they're doing, which both K1 Pro and Arthlon can do very well. I'm not feeling this is going to be a solo support Tyrande game, so we probably will be seeing Dunk Train on that, and Falstad played by K1 Pro. But SINIX Reverse going to lock in the ETC and the Jaina. Still don't have themselves a support just yet. Uther is banned out, so they'll end up on Rhaegar or Malfurion. Rhaegar changes are not on live, so will be interesting to see what they pick up here. Cloud9 with their next 2 picks. I have a feeling they're going to be going solo support to Ronda. Don't know. They could still lock in that Rhaegar or Malfurion if they potentially want to deny whatever support they're worried on from SINIX reverse. But they got a lot of good damage. I mean, Tyrande damage, even when you go support Tyrande, is still great. Damage Tyrande is still great. Falstead, really good damage there. And there's going to be the Grey main.
Yes. Baymane once again coming out. And on top of this, two Stitches Tyrande. We saw Diablo Tyrande, and that was the old school. But Stitches Tyrande as well has been, used to be played all the time because of the fact that you can line up that Lunar Flare to hit the hook target as soon as it comes out. And then from there, they have the hammering to slow them down too. They'll have a ton of damage between Falstad and Greymane to take out targets and just pick them off. And
Oh!
holy moly.
What? Okay, so Cloud9's trying to win a 4 versus 5 here. Tyke is considered one of the worst heroes in the game. I don't know the last time I've seen him since he was competitive. I mean, I think maybe even before the Road to BlizzCon North America Qualifiers with Fires in 2015.
Well, they picked Morales here as their support. Could also be Rhaegar. Yeah, Tychus is... Okay, so what's the play here? Do they get, like, drill and then just fight it out around the temples? I guess they could do the same thing with Odin. The thing is, with Tychus, is both of his heroics require them to, like, stay through the fights because they're pretty easy to go away from. Brightwing, oh my god. I'm so happy.
Sorry, I'm tweeting out about Tykex.
Well, throw Brightwing in there while you're at it, plus Stitches Tyrande, because this game's getting crazy. And sorry, guys, I apologize if I get a little crazy, because I took a Dayquil before this cast. It's going to be fun. I'm going to hop back over to cams so that you guys can see Zoia typing. Don't forget, guys, these are best of threes, single elimination tournament throughout, so there's no lower bracket to try to come back through. Top 2 teams will qualify for regionals in March.
Join off me.
Got it.
I have to wait till the stream sees the pick before I tweet out. I can't spoil. I mean, Cloud9 has been known for doing these kind of picks. They are a team that loves showing off. I mean, when they revealed the Murky pick versus Team DK at BlizzCon, you saw all their faces. Saw King Caffeine do a little eyebrow raise at the camera. iDream was like just waiting, listening to the crowd. They love putting on a show like this. And Tychus is a pick that. It's been so long since he was viable. He was still somewhat viable after you lost the Abathur clone, but when they reworked Odin, and then I believe they also made it to where you can't use searing attacks while in Odin. That is what really put the nail in the coffin for Tychus, and we have not seen him since then.
Well, we are in the lobby, guys.
No region, not just North America. I'm talking every region. No one has played Tychus in such a long time.
We saw like a couple of Chinese teams busting him out like around the BlizzCon-ish time. Am I wrong? I mean,
the Chinese don't count. They do whatever. This is exciting. I'm really happy for this game. I mean, we got the Brightwing pickup. It's not a support we see very often. They're going to have a lot of global presence, especially if they go stage dive. I believe they were the team that went stage dive in game 1.
I think they will too. They're up against Falstad. And it's Sky Temple, right? It's one of the best ones to go stage dive on top of that too. But they were going stage dive. Hyperion in chat put friends. So officially my favorite player of all time now.
Hyperion is the support player for that team as well. Had very fantastic Morales play.
Yeah.
Really good Uther play as well.
You're loading in.
Yeah, Sky Temple, guys. Game number 1, Cloud9. One of the best teams in the world. Winner of BlizzCon 2015 going up against the new up-and-coming team, SINIX Reverse. Can they make that comeback happen? Or not comeback, but can they potentially put up good games versus Cloud9? Can they potentially get an upset by taking the game? Or will it be a stomp from Cloud9? We're about to find out.
We will find out indeed. Sky Temple We'll see which team is better at fighting around those temples. I mentioned the Tychus. It is a strange pick, but the fact that you do have to fight over those temples does give a little bit more of viability maybe to him because of the fact that you do have to fight around those. It will be Arthlon playing Tychus. I Dream on the gray main pick, and here we go into the game. In blue will be Cloud9 with Dunk Train playing Tyrande. I Dream on gray main. Arthlon playing, that looks like the Prisoner's Tychus. K1
Look at that flex.
K1
Arthlon
Pro playing
pants.
Falstad, and King Caffeine, of course, playing Stitches.
Look at Arthlon. Just showing off the Tychus there. Very handsome. Very cool player. Let's go ahead and choose the team on the right-hand side of the map. It's going to be SINIX Reverse, Trevor Weg on going the ETC, Honest Abe on the Thrall, Siphon going to be playing Sylvanas, Style going to be on the Jaina, and Brightwing played by the Hyperion. Not the Hyperion. Hyperion.
Hyperion, exactly.
The player.
Bit of a different gray main build coming out already. Going to be Wolfheart at level 1, so won't be the increased range on Gilney and Cocktail. Instead, basic attack lowering the cooldown of Inner Beast while Inner Beast is active. So being able to have that increased attack speed is really big. Style, though, already taking a ton of damage from iDream. He's going to have to back up, though. When you're in that Worgen form, you deal more damage, but of course, you are really susceptible to getting chain stunned and getting taken out. But first blood of the game going to go over to Cloud9.
Really, really good engage from Cloud9, just collapsing upon the tower push from the Sylvanas, denying that hero of what she does best. King Caffeine on Stitches. I don't know if it's a hero that people have seen King Caffeine play. I remember back in the early beta and late alpha, King Caffeine's Stitches play, and it was terrifying. And for that period of time and towards the end of beta, where Cloud9 was still beating Tempo Storm, they were running pick comps a lot with Tyrande Stitches. King Caffeine is one of the best Stitches in the world. He lands amazing hooks, so it's going to be really, really tough for SINIX to try and avoid those hooks. They have to just play as safe as possible. Make sure they're behind their ETC, because if the Style or the Sylvanas gets overextended, that could be really, really bad if they land that hook.
Speaking of Stitches, no Hungry for More. At level 1, it is going to be Chew Your Food, so increased healing from Devour throughout that too, and not really looking for that increased health from picking up the region globes. So an interesting pickup there. Not seen a ton of Stitches in competitive play, but when I was seeing them play before, King Caffeine was picking up the Hungry for More quite a bit. But first Temple phase has started. There goes the hook onto Sylvanas. Siphon going to try to get out, does throw out the Haunting Wave, and will be able to get away. Trevor, though, in a bunch of trouble in the meantime, and will get taken out once again for Cloud9.
And Cloud9 going to secure themselves very nice kill onto ETC here. They're holding the point and going to be getting most of these shots here. And then Arthlon and iDream do secure a kill onto Jaina as well. So really good rotations coming out for Cloud9. They secure themselves level 4 first. Will be amplified healing on Stitches. Melting Point used to be one of the best talents in the game. Potentially at one point was the best talent in the game. Being able to siege. This was before Sylvanas was in the game, where Melting Point was the only thing in the game that was really great at sieging. So really cool to see that talent brought back, and it's going to be Searing Arrows coming out from Dunk Train.
So solo support Tyrande and still going full on damage. I'm going to get polymorphed here. Does still have disengage if you really need to, and we'll use that to go back to human form. Will be the Tailwind build, by the way, for Falstad this time. So instead of having the power throw, it seems to be a Cloud9 favorite to do that. Polymorph goes down onto iDream, barely stays alive there. Coming in just in the nick of time is Dunk Train with the heals. And I like that they're keeping Dunk Train with King Caffeine so that they can hit somebody with a stun should they get a hook. Sylvanas going to go down on top of it.
Style taking a lot of damage from Arthlon. Really good flank coming out from him. Trevor trying to disengage King Caffeine and Dunk Train. The Lunar Flare does end up connecting. Arthlon trying to get away, and the grenade secures the kill. Another death going over on the end of SINIX Reverse. Cloud9 up 5 kills to 0. A full level lead already as they're securing themselves the last of these shots. We do see Arthlon rotating down. Take a look at the structures there, Gilly, as we do see the effect of Melting Point. That grenade did all of that damage there. That is the power of Melting Point. It's not a hero we've seen in a long time, but when you take that level 4 talent, Tychus has really good siege potential.
Yeah, they've also been able to take out a lot more structures because of the fact that they won that temple phase so hard. Arthlon is in a bit of trouble, though. Honest Abe now starting to get chased back and going back and forth. Honest Abe, by the way, did pick up the Chain Lightning build, and with the concern of Hook and him needing to stay further back on Thrall, it makes a lot of sense to go for that range and just try to deal damage more safely from a distance. So Lana's going to get taken out once again. And man, so many kills, 6 kills to none in favor of Cloud9.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job here. We're going to have quarterback, which increases the range on the grenade from Tychus.
And Venom on Jaina? I guess they're stacking it with Sylvanas as in Venom?
And, I mean, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Don't really see that too very often there. Gonna be Frostbite in that level 7 for Jaina. Pretty normal builds coming out for the most part. I mean, what do you think of this Greymane build?
It is completely different from the Gilnan cocktail thing, but I guess if he's wanting to play more like a bruiser, I mean, it is iDream who's playing it, and he does completely wreck Thrall.
Honest Abe had some really good jukes there, almost surviving. He dodged the hook and the Lunar Flare, but still ended up going down. Really nice play from him, but yeah, continue.
So he's got the block from Thickskin. I think he just wants to spend more time in Worgen form. The fact that you get 40% increased damage, if you can find a way to survive in that, that is the preference. And so what he's taking, it does enable him to do that because he has the block. He also is making sure that he has Inner Beast more often with Wolfheart at the beginning. Sometimes it's seen there. There goes the Lunar Flare onto Trevor Weg. And then finally, Wizened Duelist. Oh, okay, so he's basically stacking. He's like a stacking Greymane, increasing his damage. Yeah, I mean, iDream is such a capable player that I like this more aggressive version, not playing as a passive Greymane, and I think if anyone can make it work, it would be iDream.
Yeah, I think everyone agrees that the Q build is the better way to play him, but, iDream is the melee flex here for Cloud9, showing that he can play this hero in different style. A lot of damage going down onto Dunk Train there as they do collapse, but it's 10 versus 8. Dunk Train still having, a lot of utility with that Shadow Stalker. Trevor getting very, very low. Nice flank from K1 Pro. Dunk Train trying to kite back, does hit Lunar Flare onto Honest Abe. He's going to fall as well. They're trying to get Hyperion. He's trying to run away, but he is Brightwing. He does not have a mount. His teleport is down, and he doesn't have Blink Kill to try and reposition. iDream going for the damage, doing a lot of damage to Hyperion. It does not look like he's going to be able to get that kill. But at the same time, Stitches chasing Siphon there. He does get the Haunting Wave over the wall. Arthlon looking for the kill there. He's going to go for the flank from above. King Caffeine's going to get him from below. I don't think you're going to get out of here, Sylvanas. You are going to go down.
That is some terrifying Greymane play. In playing exactly the way you need to with Go for the Throat too, being able to pick up the 2 kills from that on top of it. But I love this build that's coming out from iDream, the fact that he can be so aggressive and play it more like the melee assassin style versus the ranged assassin for a very long time. K1 Pro in a lot of trouble, doesn't get polymorph, but a barrel roll over the wall. Can he get away now? He's going to try to throw and activate flight, and he will be able to get back behind his own wall, not even giving up a single kill to SINIX reverse. And now without heroic abilities, it's going to be very difficult for them to try to contest this bottom tribute, or this temple.
Odin has been popped here from Arthlon. They should be able to siege this down. Its duration still has a few seconds left on it, but they will be able to get this fort. Level 10 has been acquired here from SINIX reverse. It's going to be Mosh Pit, Sundering, Wailing Arrow, Blink Kill. Oh, and a big Mosh Pit under tower here. The tower's not down. Will that be the first death for Cloud9? iDream gets hit by the Shadow Stalker, and he is going to go down. Sundering does not connect with Dunk Train, but they're in full chase, and it looks like Dunk Train's going to be out here, but the first death for Cloud9 is going to be on to iDream. Really good collapse there. Nice play coming out from Trevor, Hyperion, and Honest Abe.
And the fact that you have increased damage now from Arcane Flare, basically Brightwing got Arcane Precision just freely added to Arcane Flare with her patch. I mean, she does do a lot of damage if she can hit that center circle, and she did take down Greymane significantly there and helping them secure that first kill, but they're so behind in deaths as well as the temple phases that they've already lost one of their forts. Another one will get taken down now too, and they're 2 full levels behind Cloud9, which is nowhere that you want to be.
Pretty normal build coming out from King Caffeine this game. Not much to say about it. This is just your generic Stitches build. We do see that again, iDream is going to get picked off here in the middle lane. Nice collapse there coming out from SINIX as they're utilizing that teleport on Brightling as well as they can. King Caffeine getting some damage onto him. Nice spot out coming from Trevor. Polymorph goes down. A lot of good rotations coming out here from King Caffeine, but he does end up popping that Putrid Volley. He's trying to get behind the wall. Will he go down? And he does. Another kill going over to SINIX reverse. Guys, they're not out of this. They're getting these kills. We just have K1 Pro flying down aggressively here. He gets the gust into the wall, but not much going to happen with that, K1.
Man, I have to give it to them. They are really, like, the body blocks still on being able to catch out King Caffeine. They are really playing pretty pretty well given the fact that, you know, they are up against Cloud9, and that can give you a lot of nerves. But now they're chasing down K1 Pro. Polymorph is going to go down. They're really trying to make sure you can catch up to him. The hammering does slow him down momentarily, but they are able to secure a second kill from Cloud9, and now 30 seconds until all the members of Cloud9 will be back onto the field.
Honest Abe taking a lot of damage there, Gilly, but he is going to end up falling back. He's not going to go down. We'll see if Dunktrain can potentially hit an epic owl there, but no, it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Giant's going to be capped here by iDream and Arthalon. There's still about a 2-level lead in favor of Cloud9. Kills 11-4. The next Shrine phase shouldn't be too far off here. And if Cloud9 can get 16 before that, that would be a huge advantage for them.
Yeah, just now 13 is going to be picked up by SINIX Reverse. We'll see what they grab. Whether it will be, should be Pixie Shield Dust, which will help a lot with the ability damage that's coming out on the side of Cloud9. Still will be Wind Fury for Thrall. We'll see if he follows that up with 16 Wind Fury 2 Tempest Fury, or if he'll go for Forked Lightning, trying to add to that Chain Lightning build that he has thus far. Is that Groupies? Will be Groupies. So ETC trying to help out with the healing of his team a little bit, and they're going after King Caffeine. Polymorph goes down on him. Water Elemental has come out. That's helping to slow down King Caffeine, but the Putrid Vial is slowing down all the members of SINIX at the same time and stopping the retreat. Siphon gets hooked, but is going to be able to get away from the team.
A big Sundering comes out, and a lot of damage going down onto iDream, and he's going to fall again in this fight. Beautiful play coming out. K1 Pro with an aggressive fly in there. Don't know if he's going to get the best value out. He does dash back there. Honestly, getting very low. A big flank from Arthalon and King Caffeine with that Odin. A power slide does come in, but Arthalon does dodge it. There's the mosh pit immediately interrupted by Dunktrain, and now they're trying to kite out of here. That's going to be the death of ETC. Good turnaround from Cloud9. They were able to realize they had that 16th here, and they get the kill on Honest Abe as well. Nice wheeling arrow comes out, but not going to kill Arthalon. They're keeping up the change. Lunar Flare from Dunktrain does not connect with anyone, and that should be everyone else on the end of Siphon surviving here, but a nice re-engage despite losing iDream at the beginning of that fight for Cloud9, and they have that 16 advantage now.
Yeah, the flank from Odin and Arthalon was really great, and the fact that SINIX continued to fight into that, even knowing that Odin was putting on so much damage, really made it difficult for them to try to get any more kills. They were doing a really good job of just pulling back constantly and forcing SINIX to move into that Odin rage and be able to just take free damage from that. So now we have the next temple phase. Level 16 has been secured by Cloud9, but not even close for SINIX too. And for now, they're just soaking in the lane. They seem pretty scared about where to go and where the members of Cloud9 are at, and so they're not even really trying to move up and look to take out the other temple. They might be able to catch out iDream here, but Siphon is going to pay for it as well. Will iDream be able to get away? There goes the disengage. Shadowstalk has been used. Tychus is going to go down, so they did at least secure that kill. iDream going to jump back in with Dark Flight. Can the rest of his team get back here in time? It looks like they're not even really doing it. iDream's just trying to delay as long as possible. He does catch up to Falstad, who is going to push them away.
He does secure that bottom keep as well. Stitch is coming in as well. Gets the hook on from to save iDream. Can iDream get away? Honest Abe's taking a lot of damage. Gets the Sundering. iDream is going to end up going down, though. King Caffeine at the front line taking some damage. Honest Abe is just barely going to end up surviving there, and King Caffeine has to kite back. That was almost the most epic save of a player I've ever seen. iDream still ended up falling there. You know, it was an epic merry chase, but Cloud9 did secure themselves the first keep of the game, Gilly.
Yeah, that Chain Lightning build from Thrall is what secured that kill onto Greymane. And they did get Tychus as well, and that's comeback experience. With that, they're now still down 2 levels, but about to get level 16, which means they will finally be on the same talent tier once again, and they can be more aggressive and out onto the map. And we'll see what talents they're going to choose. It will be Bouncy Dust, so that's going to help them make sure that they can spread that shield dust to as many people as possible and deny a lot of the ability damage that's coming out from Cloud9. It will be another Wind Fury build, so Tempest Fury instead of Forked Lightning for Thrall, and they're going to get Falstad.
K1 Pro going to get overextended there. Does get collapsed upon. Nice turnaround there from reverse SINIX as they are chasing down Arthalon now in that Odin. The hook comes out, but does not end up pulling in a Siphon there. But Owl does come out as well. Good root coming out from Honest Abe. It's still a 5 versus 4, but Cloud9 being very healthy. Still looking to force this fight. iDream keeps dashing forward, trying to find the re-engage here. Looks like Trevor's looking to turn this around as well. Honest Abe coming in from the flank, going on to iDream in the backline. King Caffeine does get the Putrid Vial, zones out the rest of the team. Honest Abe taking a lot of damage. Is going to fall to iDream. Trevor taking taking damage as well. They're trying to collapse onto him. King Caffeine going with the chase onto Siphon and Hyperion. iDream secures the kill onto ETC as well. Good hook onto Hyperion there. He blink kills out. Lunaflare does not connect. Can iDream secure the kill? Arthlon does try to go in. They're trying to get this kill on the Hyperion, and the grenade secures the kill for Cloud9. They're going for the chase. Can King Caffeine get one last look on this over the wall? You have to keep in mind that does go through the wall, and he hit Siphon. Let's get the haunting wave up. He does not get it off in time, and that's going to be a 4-for-1 exchange. As iDream died at the beginning of the fight, he was able to rejoin it, but wow, Cloud9 showing their aggression in that fight.
Man, between the hooks and the Greymane, this is terrifying to try to deal with from Cloud9. Because if one person is out of position, they are completely gone from the fight immediately. We saw how fast Thrall got taken out there. Sylvanas wasn't even able to get to her Banshees in time, even though they were thrown out. The power of them to be able to burn somebody down. And with that, too, they have True Shot Aura from Tyrande. It no longer gives her the basic attack damage, but it still gives it to all of her nearby allies. With that, as well as the increased attack speed that that Greymane can use, their ability to do damage is just insane. I'm actually going to pull up the damage because I want to see Tychus. Pretty good numbers. He's doing the most damage on the team.
Yeah, Arthlon, I mean, he's well-versed in this hero, doing a great job. Despite him being a low meta pick, is going to try pushing in this wave. Falstad gets collapsed upon. K1 Pro going to go down as they secure themselves level 20, but the hook comes out, does not connect with anyone. Key Caffeine going to have to wait till for that cooldown to reset. Level 20 has been picked up from Cloud9. It's going to be Bolt of the Storm on Stitches. We see so many epic plays with Bolt hooks, repositioning that way. It's going to be Epic Mount on Falstad. We're going to be seeing the big red button on Odin for that nuclear launch. Arthlon being collapsed upon. The power slide connects with them. Nice come in from Hyperion here. Will he be able to secure the kill? Watermelon popped really early there. Putrid Bile popped by King Caffeine. And Arthlon kiting up. I think that is going to be his death here. Dunk Train is here, but no saving that. But a nice combo coming down the Honest Save. The Lunar Flare was just a little bit too early, but will Honest Save go down? Mosh Pit used onto King Caffeine. Dunk Train item trying to kill Trevor, but he's not going to go down. He does, then a nice double stun on the Thrall as well. And they're turning this around. It's a 3 versus 3. We do see that the Shadowstalk has been popped. Item going for the damage. Hyperion gets hooked. Can he get in range for the blink kill? He is going to end up going down here, and Cloud9 making the impossible happen, somehow winning that engagement.
Yeah, they stopped Thrall just before Sundering was about to go out, and that was really key because they were able to stay into the fight. On top of that, the hook does not connect with anybody, but still with 3 people down for so long, Cloud9 are completely in control of this. What will they choose to do with it? It looks like they want to try to push in and get yet another keep, delay or deny some of those shots from having to be wasted on this top keep, and that just puts more and more pressure on SINIX, who still haven't yet to pick up their level 20 abilities. They're only a level away, but in that amount of time, they've lost another keep, and all of the forts are still alive for Cloud9.
Yeah, Cloud9 has had full control of this game. I don't even know how much ammo they've lost from a single shrine. I mean, they've done a good job of controlling every single shrine in this game, even when there's been multiple spawns. We do have 2 shrines spawning, one in the middle, one in the bottom. If Cloud9 controls both of those, that will be game for them. Still about half level until SINIX Reverse gets their level 20, but I mean, I don't know if they can wait for that, Gilly. We've got 10 seconds on the shrines, and the longer Cloud9 controls, it's going to be so much harder for them to hold position in this game, but looks like Cloud9's not even wanting to contest the shrines. They're wanting to force a fight here on mid-keep. Arthlon popping that Odin already.
Odin's come out. There goes the hook onto Style. She does have Ice Block, but it's only a matter of time. It does stop her from being stunned, but won't stop her from being taken out. She will go down. Dunk Train almost does too, but stays alive. Brightwing already going to be dead as well. And now with that big red button starting to come out, the Odin sieging up this final keep of the game. Will they move in? It looks like Falstad's going to fly in. The aggressive flight doesn't catch anybody with Mighty Gust, though, and now in a lot of trouble. Doesn't have the flight just yet. Uses barrel roll to try to get away. The rest of the team trying to come in and save him. Well, and they are going to be able to do so. iDream jumping in on top of Honest Dave. They're going to be able to take him out. There are only 2 members remaining, Sylvanas and ETC. Does Cloud9 go for the win? They're still fairly low in health. Remember, it's a solo Tyrande healer, but they do look like they want to do so. K1 Pro once again not finding that aggressive Mighty Gust that they want. But with that, Cloud9 will be able to pick up the first win in the series.
Yeah, the core is falling here. They're actually doing a decent job of forcing out Junction. They missed the stun, though. Trevor getting pretty low here. He gets the stun on the iDream. iDream's going to fall. Core's at 70% here, and they should be able to close this out. They got 5 seconds on Jaina and Brightwing. K1 Pro looks like he's just trying to be a little bit silly right now. Trevor getting low himself. He is going to end up falling 50% on the core. They got catapults from 2 lanes here. We do see the Gust goes out on the Style. Cloud9 just trying to get more kills. Hyperion gets hit by that Lunar Flare, does blink out. K1 Pro still hasn't fallen, 9% on the core. That's going to be it, guys. Cloud9 with the hook on the Hyperion at the last second. Will they finally end this game? It's at 3%, 2%. One more attack will do it. Siphon's going to fall. 1%. The core does finally fall. Cloud9 with some amazing hooks, some questionable position on Greynane, and some really funny flies from K1 Pro are going to secure game number 1 of this best-of-3 series.
It made sense that they were spreading out and trying to kill ETC because he did have Mosh Pit up and Jaden was about to be up. But yeah, after that, they were just having some fun. But I love it. We got to see Tychus, a win for Tychus. Does that mean he has a 100% win rate? I don't know if he's been played in any of the other games. I heard Gazlo was picked up, though, Zoya.
Yeah, and I heard Jake got the cast a choke all game, too.
Ah, I'm jealous! Yeah. And Blaze is playing Artanis. I hope we get an Artanis game. That'd be really cool. But that'll be it for the game 1. Now, SINIX do have a chance to bring it back, as it is a best-of-3, but it's a pretty tall order. They will have first pick in the next game, though. So that could be the difference for them. If they can get some comfort picks, maybe, that would help. But, man, iDream was just terrifying. It was between that and the hooks.
That was fun. Yeah, despite the early deaths, the multiple picks that happened on iDream, playing a different style of Greymane that we haven't seen. You know, everyone talks about the Ghanaian cocktail build. You know, he playing the melee assassin build was very fun to watch. And you know, you talked about it in game. Arthalon top in hero damage that game alongside Greymane. 53,000 coming out from Tychus, 47,000 coming from Greymane. I mean, really fun game coming out from Cloud9. I'm excited to see what they're going to do in game number 2.
I am as well. We're going to take a quick break while we set that up, guys. When we return, game 2 between Cloud9 and SINIX Reverse. The screaming that you just heard is in relation to the draft that we were given a little bit late, so we're going to hop right over to that so that you could see that we have a first pick of Cho'Gall for Cloud9.
Oh, let me redo the scream. Oh my God, Cloud9 first pick Cho'Gall.
Now, what are SINIX going to do? They have a lot of time to try to respond to it. They took away Lieutenant Morales. That's nice, as she can heal them all the way back up, and other healers can struggle with that very high health bar. They're definitely going to probably want a hero that does damage based on, like, if they can get Giant Killer or something like that. We've seen SINIX play Raynor before, so that's a potential, but Cho'Gall, buddy. Cho'Gall.
Crazy pickup here from Cloud9. Just running through the draft, we got a false stat and a Tyrande ban coming out from Cloud9. If Cloud9 was planning on running Cho'Gall, Tyrande's a great ban. Hunter's Mark is so good versus Cho'Gall because of that increased health pool that you talked about. Looking at the picks for SINIX reverse, they got Kael'thas, Morales, and Sylvanas. We saw Hyperion play Morales game 1 of their first set on Towers of Doom. He played it fantastic, so great pickup there from them. Kael'thas, one of the best assassins in the game, potentially the best as right now with the changes to Tyrande. He is so good. Probably the most picked band here or for first pick in the game. So Kael'thas really great there. So Sylvanas really good versus the Cho'Gall as well. One of the problems with Cho'Gall is, you're down to 4 people. There's 4 bodies on the map once you have Cho'Gall. Sylvanas being able to out-rotate the Cho'Gall team and being able to split push helps out a lot. So far, really great picks from SINIX Reverse.
It makes sense why they would want to also ban the Lost Vikings, just because of the fact that you do have the 4 bodies on the battleground. 2 more picks for Cho'Gall, or for Cloud9. To go along with that Cho'Gall, we'll see what they choose to add to it. Is that... Okay, so they're looking at Lily. I mean, Jug of 1,000 Cups. Way to...
Man.
Okay, well,
Nine.
That is interesting. Jaina looks like will be the next pick too. Lily has blinds, so if the concern is they want to... I mean, I'm just trying to justify this little baby panda that we have here. If they're wanting to blind, if a Raynor or something like that does come out from SINIX, might just help make sure that Cho'Gall is taking less damage from Giant Killer, if that's the way they want to play it. But so far, that hasn't been picked up by SINIX. They still need a warrior with their last 2 picks. What will they grab?
Yeah, a lot of great warriors still available. I mean, every warrior still available. Murden, ETC. Looks like they're hovering Chen. You got Diablo up. We'll see if it's going to be the Chen. Chen might actually be great here. Displace the team. Like if Cho'Gall overextends, you isolate with Barrel potentially. I mean, it could work out. Raynor, single target damage with the Giant Killer, right versus the Cho'Gall. I mean, you talked about that, how you can try and burst them down. Cloud9 with their last pick. Now, a lot of teams run Cho'Gall as their warrior, right? They don't pick a warrior with it. We'll see if Cloud9 does want to lock in potentially, a Leoric, will they be going more of a damage route here? They have 5 seconds left on that last pick, Gilly. And it looks like it's going to be Zeratul, putting iDream on one of his best heroes.
So, looking at...
Oh,
okay.
I don't know if they didn't lock it in time or not.
So we're going to have Leoric. Looking at the fact that we are on Infernal Shrines, it will be of importance to make sure that they have heroes who are good at clearing them out. Hyperion will help with that in terms of zoning for SINIX Reverse, as well as dealing damage to them in an area. Sylvanas will be really nice in being able to move back and forth between lanes and keep them pushed, especially if you do have long fights around those shrines. But Kael'thas will be a really big help in being able to clear out the shrines. The fact that you can use the Verdant Sphere's enhanced Flame Strike to be able to steal a lot of the minion kills away from the team is going to be big. But Cho'Gall is actually really fantastic at sieging, and then with the addition of Leoric to that and the fact that they have Jaina, I'd say both teams have a really pretty good composition for being able to clear out those shrines.
Yeah, this has been a weird day. I don't know what to think. I mean, we got Chen picks. I mean, I heard there was like you said, there was a Gazlo pick. Jake's apparently cast 2 games now with Cho'Gall. We had a Tychus melee Greymane game. I mean, the only thing we're missing is, we have Murky, we have Lily. Only thing we're missing right now is Lunara. If someone's picked Lunara, and then we've had every weird pick, I can't think of anything that's missed out on these weird picks. Like, I guess Artanis
No,
where's he
Artanis has
at?
been picked.
Artanis
Blaze,
has been picked?
Blaze has been playing Artanis.
Of course, Blaze is playing Artanis. Why wouldn't they be? No surprise at all. So, okay, the only hero we haven't seen is Lunara, so, you know, we see it running
It's only a matter of time.
It looks like Cho will be played by King Caffeine, of course, the warrior main for Cloud9. Let's see who is going to lock in that Gall.
Looks like Leoric's going to be played by Arthlon.
It looks like Dunk Train's going to be on Gall, and iDream's going to be on Lily.
Yes, because that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. You know, there's a little bit of a lack of respect coming from Cloud9 in this series, and let's see if they get punished for it. You know, this is a really weird draft. You know, they have people role swapping, it seems, with iDream on Lily. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's probably a fantastic Q spammer, but, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows about the melee assassin Lily with the water dragon. And whether or not they choose to use that, we will see. That was a joke, by the way. That's not a thing. Here we go into the game, guys. Game number 2 between Cloud9 and SINIX Reverse. We have Cho'Gall. We have a Lily. We have a Chin. The rest looks fairly standard.
We have a tilted Zoya who doesn't know what to think anymore. I mean, I've been watching scrims. I've been studying drafts, and you know what? People are taking this tournament serious so far based off what I've seen in scrim. So, you know what, guys? I'm done. Just perma-tilt. Cho'Gall, man, I am hyped for him. You know, Cloud9 has been hyping up Cho'Gall to me for a while. They were potentially planning on running it at Esports Arena. But they didn't get the opportunity to. And with the buffs to Gall lately, I talked about it recently on Town Hall, potentially Cho'Gall is a actual viable pickup here. But let's go ahead and introduce the teams. On the left-hand side of the map, it's going to be Arthlon on Leoric, iDream on Lily, K1 Pro on Jaina. It's going to be Kinrain going to be playing the Cho'Gall as King Caffeine and Dunk Train with that little dance there. Looking really awesome.
And their opponents down a game in this series. We have SINIX Reverse with Hyperion playing Morales style on Kael'Thas, Honest Abe playing Raynor, Siphon playing Sylvanas, and finally Trevor Weg playing Chen.
Oh, apparently Blaze won with Lunara too. Go figure, Blaze.
Snaps!
Standard Blaze. Well, let's go ahead and see these builds here. It's going to be Surging Dash picked up from Cho. We're going to be seeing the Spurred Onward from Gall. And W build will be coming out from Sylvanas. We saw them run the W build earlier with Siphon, so looking more like a comfort build for him.
I like the Spurred Onward plus the Surging Dash, increasing the range and speed of Surging Fist. The fact that Cho'Gall can be vulnerable to like chain stuns, and the fact that he's so far forward, and if you chain stun him, he doesn't have necessarily a lot of escape options, and those are really it to make sure that you have your Surging Fist up, as well as the fact that you can use Hurry Up Oath. And so I like the choice there, knowing that they're going to be able to do enough sieging damage. I mean, look at the top. They've already taken down one tower, working on the other ones too, so it's all about just trying to make sure that he can stay alive as much as possible, or they, I guess.
Yeah, the Cho'Gall has to be pretty safe, but does, you know, like you said, that great seeds potential. It's going to be Leoric and iDream in the mid lane here, and in the bottom lane, it looks like it's going to be K1 Pro. Going to be putting some pressure on the Siphon here. He's actually getting pretty low. Does not have Haunting Wave up. He does have it up, but he's going to be forced to go in and tap the well.
Raynor once again is going to pick up Seasoned Marksman, trying to make sure that you can do as much damage that Cho'Gall later on to building up the stacks from that, as well as making sure we'll probably see him once again get Giant Killer 2 to try to burn down the Cho'Gall as much as possible. First Shrine is activating, and it will be in the mid. We'll see what kind of Punisher it will be spawning very soon.
Yeah, we will see the contention for it. Cloud9 doing so much damage in that top lane with Kinrain on the Cho'Gall. They're just doing some serious work, starting to siege down that tower up there, but it looks like there's a collapse here from Style as well as Hyperion. Will they be able to do anything serious to Cho'Gall? No, they're not going to be able to. And we have Arthlon and iDream already on this point now. Arthlon on the Leoric is still very good at clearing out these minions. So we'll have to see if they can really dominate the Shrine here. And that's going to be First Blood actually on Kael'Thas.
Kael'Thas goes down and will be down for a few seconds while the rest of Cloud9 will move into position here. We do have rollback, So Rune Bomb is going to return as well as Go Out do, which can deal some extra damage from that too, as well as make sure they have the positioning, and then Siphoning Runes. So trying to heal up Cho'Gall for 20% of the damage done against heroes. They know that they have a lot of damage with Cho'Gall as well as the Jaina, so it's all about making sure that they can survive, especially with the fact that they have Lily, who did pick up it's like lingering blinds, so increasing the duration of the blinds they do have out. That'll be really nice versus Raynor. However, iDream in a lot of trouble. Trevor, will he be able to catch her? Looks like no, but Style and Honest Abe now in a lot of trouble from the body blocks from Kinrain. But we've seen it before. Hyperion has great heals on the Morales and kept everybody alive.
That was fantastic healing from Hyperion. And Arthlon overextending there is potentially going to go down. And yes, he does fall with the Chain Bomb, but Kinrain should be able to secure themselves the last of these minions here, as it is just about to be enough. And yep, Punisher will be spawning here. Is a Frozen's Punisher for Cloud9. Going to be pushing down this mid lane here. You know, overall great fight from Cloud9 there. We do see the leap over the wall. It's going to be gathering power on Kel'Thas. You know, we've seen him die once, Gilly, but keeping him alive is going to be very important as Sylvanas does fall in that top lane.
Yeah, got completely ganked by the Cho'Gall, and first Punisher pretty weak. So I like the decision to move up there and A, stop Sylvanas from getting some free push onto their structures, but B, they're able to actually even pick up the kill there and keep the pressure on in multiple lanes because of the sieging power of Cho'Gall. So because of that, good, healthy experience lead for Cloud9. They're starting to spread back out immediately too and make sure that they're soaking all of the lanes, looking toward their level 7 talents and potentially heroic abilities before that next Shrine phase.
Can we just take a brief moment to pause and zoom in on Arthlon? Can we give a shout out to Blizzard's art team? Space Lord Leoric is probably the coolest skin, hands down, in the game.
Right?
I love this skin so much, especially with that mount, man. Arthlon looks so good. This is such a cool skin, and it's, I'm in love with him. I'm in love with it.
I'm in love with gathering power on Kel'Thas.
Well, if he can keep himself from dying again.
Yeah, I know, I'm a little bit scared. We'll see how that works. Grounding, it's Brewmaster's Balance. Going to be the pickup at level 7 for Chen. It's a really cool talent, just the idea of it, the potential that you can get both of the buffs if you're right at the perfect amount of brew. But then otherwise very tanky, Conjurer's Pursuit, and then instead of getting swift reflexes for the block, we have amplified healing for Chen at level 4.
Kinrain kiting back, still sieging down this middle tower. Looks like the Shrine's going to be spawning in the top side of the map. Arthlon is already in position up there. Jaina versus Kel'Thas in the bottom. K1 Pro taking some light damage. We'll see where they want to go. It looks like they're not willing to contest the point. Potentially going for the combo onto Style there. The body block happens, but they do not end up securing that kill. Jaina just a little bit too slow with the slow there, so they do not get Kel'Thas. You know, it's always important to deny those or to get those kills onto Style. You know, denying those GP stacks, because I've seen a max stacks gathering power Kel'Thas, and it is ridiculous.
Yep, and they're going after him again. Gravity Lapse comes down onto Kinrain, pushes him all the way back. Style's pretty low though, and if he doesn't, there's no well here, so it's going to take him a bit to move up into position for the Shrine, and it is going to be an Arcane Punisher, so that is much more difficult to deal with than the Mortar of before. Arthlon already starting to work on it while the rest of the team zones out everyone else. Trevor getting very low, and with a surging dash forward, Chen will go down. The rest of the team having to move back out too. Another kill would give Cloud9 their level 10 heroic abilities, so they have to be very, very careful how they play this out. Meanwhile, Arthlon was starting to take down those skeletal defenders, but now is chasing Style all the way back to the middle of the map.
They almost have that level 10. See what heroics they want to take here. Taking a look at the damage. I mean, Gall is doing double damage of everyone else in the game. You know, with the changes to him recently, that's pretty. He does insane amount of damage, and then of course Cho is the third highest damage in the game, just showing you the aggression coming out from King Caffeine and Dunk Train onto this hero. And they're controlling this Shrine up here on the top. It's going to be an Arcane Punisher here. They've got 30 minions killed already, and they have those heroics. Chen being caught here, taking a little bit of damage from K1 Pro and Arthlon, and he's trying to get healed up from the well, but he is just going to end up falling there. Didn't even have to use Entomb.
So SINIX, maybe with a little bit of confusion there, but getting caught out, at least did secure this bottom siege camp to be able to move in, knowing that they can't contest versus level 10 when they don't have it. iDream doing a great job of keeping Arthlon alive, using Jug of 1,000 Cups to get that. By the way, they also have Upheaval, so it won't be Hammer of Twilight. It will be looking to make those plays by pulling people in. Entomb on top of that too, as well as Water Elemental and Shadow Bolt Volley. Hyperion has been used though for their heroic abilities on the side of SINIX. trying to just get a counter push going on here in the bottom and get a fort as well. Should be able to do so. K1 Pro not going to be enough to push back all of the team. Are they going to be able to pick this up?
They have to be careful. They have to be so careful when being sieged against here. King Rain has upheaval. So we'll see if it was with the Shadow Bolt volley combo. They have to play so very safe here. King Caffeine going to be looking for that, mixing with the Tomb. There's a lot of punishing that can happen here. There's the pull coming in on the style, and wow, immediately annihilated. Chen taking a lot of damage as well in that front line. Arthlon not able to secure that kill. iDream has to back out. Still doesn't have Jugs up for 8 seconds there. They're trying to reposition himself. Liork's going to be able to get out there. 4 seconds until Jugs is up, and that's when Cloud9 would be able to re-engage here. But it doesn't look like it's going to be the case here. K1 Pro ended up going, heading back towards the team right now. But they weren't able to secure that kill, or that keep. They were able to get the front wall.
I like the decision from Cloud9 to move back as soon as Stim Drone was dropped, because the fact that it is a longer cooldown for it, and the fact that on Raynor it can be a lot to deal with. They were already pretty low, so they're just going to move back away. They know that they have a big advantage already because of the experience, because of the structures they've been able to take out, the fact that they still have all of their forts, although the bottom one did get pretty low in that counter push. And Cho'Gall going to be able to start soloing some camps while the rest of the team members focus on soaking up where they can. And that's kind of the name of the game at this point, is just to move around and get as many mercenary camps as you can, soak as well, so that you can make sure that you're on even footing for the next phase.
iDream taking a lot of damage here, gets the blind onto Raynor though. Stop that damage for a few seconds and is going to reposition himself. Level 13 picked up here from Cloud9. See what they want to take. It will be Icy Banes on Jaina. K1 Pro known for avoiding the ice block when he feels like he can get away with it. One of the first Jainas to do that. It's going to be Runic Feedback on Cho. It's going to be Dread Shield on the Gaul. And it's going to be Shrink Ray on Lily. So pretty normal talents coming out from Cloud9.
Yeah, the Burning Rage I would say is the strangest there for Liork. Not going to have Crushing Hope, looking to deal that extra damage with Drain Hope. Instead, looking to potentially just get into the backline as much as possible and deal a ton of damage. Upheaval does not grab Hyperion, and Shadow Bolt Volley does go out. Style, though, is going to go down, and Honest Abe nearly does so, but does still have his Adrenaline Rush to help keep himself healthy.
Arthlon Diamond for Siphon under the keep, but doesn't end up getting it. He just barely was able to kite around. Arthlon went so deep to try and get Siphon. King Rain going to be able to secure this siege camp here in the middle. Going to force off the rest of SINIX reverse. We do see Cho'Gall taking a bit of damage. Arthlon is just AFK top lane, just waiting to res. You know what? I'm pushing this keep, and no one's going to stop me.
I love the style. The fact that they have the push in hand. In the bottom, though, a lot of trouble as Kenrain is going to dash in. Hyperion will get taken out despite the fact that he does have that trauma trigger to try to keep himself alive. Now Chin and Raynor might be in trouble, getting pushed all the way back by a very scary Lily. And that is going to enable them to throw some damage onto this fort, potentially. Meanwhile, Liork is caught between several members. Arthlon may go down once again. We may have a Liorky situation, but they do take out both Kael'thas and Morales in this flank. And now, even though we have a temple up, a shrine is available. Cloud9 is just going for these picks wherever they can find them, making sure that they increase the experience lead as well as keep SINIX back scared in their base.
A lot of damage coming out from these guys when you see these kills. I mean, that was a funny chase coming out. We saw Kael'thas chase Arthlon as well as he can here. And Arthlon ended up just kiting him into a massive gank. Level 13 has been acquired here for SINIX reverse. We get that chain bomb, which is very important. Giant killer on the Raynor as well. So good against Cloud9 as the fight is breaking out here. King Ray trying to go on the Honest Abe. K1 Pro coming up from below, gets the slow from the water elemental. Chen does dive in though. The pull comes down on the Honest Abe. They are not able to secure the kill there. And Syndrome has been used onto Honest Abe. And look how much damage Cho'Gall is taking. He does just barely get out there. A big jug's coming out from iDream, and now Arthlon is very extended there. And he is going to be the first to fall in this fight. Trevor with the chug. Going to try and keep himself alive, but K1 Pro is completely out of mana. I don't know if Cloud9 can keep contesting this. King Ray getting very, very low themselves. Chen chugging at the front line to push back iDream and K1 Pro. K1 Pro does have to go back. He just doesn't have enough mana to contest this point. And King Rain still trying to secure themselves some minions. You have to keep in mind, Gaul doesn't have a mana pool. He can just spam these spells all day. He's trying to secure this. Will they be able to get themselves the first punch of the game? So I've been getting very, very low. iDream looking for the kill. Not going to be able to get it. Hyperion has been used, and it looks like Cloud9 going to secure themselves another Punisher.
And you mentioned it. Gaul can just spam those abilities. They've got a pretty good range. The fact that they have rollback 2 on the Rune Bomb, just make sure it comes back on top of it too and deal enough damage to maybe even steal some of the skeletal defenders away from SINIX. So even though they won that fight, people are going to go out onto Chen, but actually throws him behind. And now because of that, Shadow Bolt was hitting the wrong side, but they still are able to secure the kill onto him as this Frozen Punisher starts to move in toward the mid keep.
You see Arthlon gets the Entomb onto Hyperion. Can they secure the kill? And he does end up going down. That's 30 seconds without their Lieutenant Morales. They're trying to push in this middle keep. The keep still has not fallen for them yet. They're trying their hardest to make sure that doesn't happen. Arthlon taking a lot of damage. Jugs has been popped, but Arthlon still going to fall. Body blocks coming out from Keen Rain there, but he's taking a lot of damage from Honest Abe, and they're going to have to back out there. Lily struggling to keep Keen Rain up here. Siphon, a little bit of overextension. Styles taking a lot of damage from Gall himself, and they're going to end up having to back up. The siege is actually continuing here from Keen Rain. I don't know if they're going to be able to get this keep, but they're trying their hardest with Chen back up, though. I don't know if they can contest this. Barrel has been used. They're trying to zone Keen Rain back into the fight there. A lot of damage going on the Honest Abe, though, and he's going to end up falling. Keen Rain not going to go down there, and they secure the kill on the Chen as well. Wailing Arrow comes out from Sylvanas. Nice kills from Hyperion, but he gets caught in the tomb, and there's the upheaval, pulling Hyperion in. A beautiful chain bomb coming out from Style, though. That's going to be the death of Arthlon and Idrim. Keen Rain and K1 Pro having to kite out of here. A 2-for-4 exchange, though. Even more than that, as Cloud9 was in that fight for a very, very long time, and I think they'll be able to secure themselves this first keep.
Yeah, they've still got a lot of siege damage potential now, and because of the fact that it's only Kael'thas up, still trying to come back in now, but they finally were able to wear down the ammo on that keep so that they could engage underneath it. Earlier on in that fight, it looked pretty bad for the Cho'Gall because of the fact that he was so overextended and slowed down by the keep, but they were able to keep him alive long enough that eventually they wore that out. And that will be the first keep of the game, as level 16 has now been picked up. It's not going to be Cold Embrace for Sylvanas. It will be Blood for Blood instead, trying to do whatever they can to take down Cho'Gall, yeah.
I mean, the damage implication might necessarily be better just because it's 25% across your whole team, but they're just trying to figure out a way to burst down Gall, and normally you would see the Cold Embrace there. Might be the better comp. Oh, nice gank on the K1 Pro in the top lane there. Styles might go down to the water level. No, nice heals from Hyperion, just barely going to keep him alive. But these are the kills that they need to get back into this game, Gilly.
Yeah, the comeback experience is real. We have another shrine starting to spawn, and Cho'Gall already starting to work on it right away. Can just do so much between the Runic Blast and the Dread Orb, even the Shadow Flare too, because of its nice range. If you can get set up, get them in a line, is really helpful. And with that, almost halfway there to being able to get the shrine, but with Jaina down, they may have to be less aggressive here, and that is the potential. There is the barrel, just zoning them back completely, allowing his team to get as many of these skeletal defenders down before they move back into the fight as possible. He's going to start drinking his Fortifying Brew. He does have Boulder Flavor as well as enough to share to give shields to the team. Upheaval goes down into Shadow Bolt Volley. They also have the Entomb down too, and a Wailing Arrow comes out silencing, and they have to move out of this Hyperion. They're taking a ton of damage. Arthlon may get taken out here, and yes, the final shot from Hyperion will do so. And with that, SINIX, they're still alive. They're all still alive. They're still trying to pick up this first Punisher for their side.
Cloud9 getting really greedy with this push here. I mean, they were not up a talent tier. Maybe that would have been possible if it was 20 versus 17, but with it being the same tier, without Jaina, that was a really greedy fight for them to take, and it looks like SINIX is going to get their very first Punisher of the game, pushing this bottom lane that already has a fort down, so we'll see what they can do with this push, but Cloud9 being on the verge of those Storm talents and looking for a potential flank here as everyone is up with Arthlon there. He's going to catch Hyperion in and Entomb there. It's up in 1 second there. He has spawned. He's trying to kite back with that Wraithlock, not going to take some serious damage. He's trying to reposition himself there. And this is 20 tier for Cloud9.
Yeah, they're looking to take out Cho'Gall now. There goes the Wandering Keg, and he takes just a ton of damage right away. But in the meantime, Kael'thas gets taken out. Still, that's a 2-for-1 because they count as 2. Hyperion doing his best to keep everyone alive. Siphon pretty low, does get into Hyperion's range a little bit better, and still they are doing a great job of keeping everyone alive, despite the fact that Water Elemental is dealing a ton of damage. Arthlon trying to chase down Lieutenant Morales, who is very low. They mount up at the same time, and Hyperion will be able to get away. And with that, there's still a lot of members trying to push in with this Punisher. They really want to be able to get a keep of their own, and with Sylvanas, it's going to make it a lot easier to do so.
Cloud9 still trying to defend this push. Will this be the first keep of the game? Honest Abe getting taken down here. Will he end up falling? Yes, Arthlon does secure the kill on the Rainer. I think this should end this push here for SINIX. I mean, they didn't have their medic with them. Might have been a bit too greedy, but they're still staying in here. Hyperion is back in the fight. Arthlon trying to get the chase, gets the Entomb onto him. iDream and K1 Pro trying to get back onto this backline there. And that's going to be the death of the Sylvanas here. And they're keeping up this chase. Wraithlock coming forward, trying to get the slow onto Hyperion there. Arthlon does end up getting it. Good body blocks coming out from Trevor. Will Morales end up falling here? K1 Pro mounted up, goes for the slow, but the minions block the Frostbolt. He tries to get the Kona Cold Blizzard. Hyperion is trying to cut away, and a great barrel coming out from Chen. Will he be able to keep himself alive, though? He still doesn't have 20. Hyperion needs to get some heals on him. Water Elemental has been popped. Arthlon with the chase does not have it tuned up. A great grenade from Hyperion, and none of them end up going down.
Wow, that was insane. Even with the paralyzing rage from Leoric that they had, the increased slow on Morales, they just were able to keep themselves alive. And then Kael'thas coming in, making sure that he can help keep them from getting taken down. And on top of that, they're about to get level 20, and they were able to secure the keep. So they're pretty much back on even terms. Yeah, there's one additional fort still up for Cloud9, but a keep down on either side, and Storm talents now being picked up by SINIX. They're going to grab Caduceus, Reactor 2.0, will be Nexus Frenzy for Raynor, as well as Bolt of the Storm for Sylvanas, the Hardened Shield for Chen, and then finally Bolt for Kael'thas as well.
Last two fights Cloud9 has taken were a 3 versus 5. They keep fighting down a member. We'll see if the difference of having 5 is going to make enough here. We do see that's going to be buried alive on the
coolest named talent, by the way.
Yeah, really cool. And what it does is it does damage per second inside the Entomb. I don't remember how much it actually does, but it's an interesting pickup there from Leoric there. Bolt of Storm on Jaina. We're going to be seeing Shadow Fury, which is an insane talent for Gaul. Ups his damage a lot. The Will of Gaul as well, with the cleanse on himself, and then Kung Fu Hustle on Lily.
Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle is a big deal for Lily to have her at 20 because of the fact that she gets her ability reduction cooldown is just insane. There goes the upheaval, and Hyperion just gets melted from the Shadow Bolt volley. Once it starts piercing, man, it just does so much damage to all the members of the team. Even Trevor having a difficult time, despite the fact that he's Chen trying to stay up, but he does get a kill on Leoric, so it's a 1-for-1 so far. Trevor still trying to stay in this somehow. Jaina gets taken out, and that's 2, and Style is not going to go down, so it is still in favor of SINIX so far.
Honestly, taking a lot of damage, though. Keen Rain going for the kill. Chen trying to keep it alive, but no, that's going to be the death of Raynor here. Chen probably going to go down as well. And with that, Lily, Arthlon, and Kin Rain here should be able to take this second keep here in the middle. They're trying to get on the Styles here. Arthlon just about to res there. Style taking a lot of damage. Siphon trying to come in to disengage from him. Style rotates up, though, and does end up falling here. And that is going to be the death of Kael'thas. Sylvanas actually getting very low as well to Arthlon. Haunting Wave goes down, but caught in the Entomb from Arthlon. Keen Rain comes in to secure the kill. And that's all 5 members down. 3 catapults pushing the mid lane here. 7 seconds on Morales, but more than 30 seconds on any damage dealer. That is going to be game number 2. Cloud9 has secured themselves a 2-0 victory over SINIX Reverse.
Man, look at Gaul's damage.
Ridiculous.
Once you get that Shadow Fury with the Pierce, man, he is so difficult to try to deal with. Topping even Kael'thas with chain bombs damage too. It's just unreal.
That's
And then Entomb at the end, oh my gosh!
Yeah, that was.
We talk about King Caffeine's Entombs, but it was, he got it right out. Oh my gosh, that was cool.
Arthlon had one good Entomb that game. The other one, yeah, I don't know. Arthlon, really interesting Leoric play that game. It's not a hero he plays very often. He was never a warrior main. But a really fun game coming out from Cloud9. You have to give it to SINIX Reverse, though. They put up a good fight. I mean, they got 12 kills. They got themselves a keep. Just a few overextensions. But I mean, I really, really want to take time to highlight Hyperion. He is really solid on Morales. His positioning sometimes can be a bit off, but there are so many fights that he kept up his entire team. He was in all the games we cast today for an up-and-coming player. Hyperion has impressed me the most. That guy. Really, really played well on those Morales games.
But you have to remember, too, Morales is a completely team-oriented game, too. So the rest of the team it's obvious that they've really taken time to practice that Morales play and strategy, because your positioning is really important. But if they're somehow able to get onto the Morales, like with an upheaval or something like that, the fact that they're able to adapt and make sure, even like the haymaker that we saw with Morales too, just the ability to adapt and make sure that they're really on point with saving the Morales and making sure that they get off of her when they start to attack her. It was a really good job by SINIX. Unfortunately, they are eliminated from this, and Cloud9 will move on. Let's look at where the bracket is at thus far and see if we can give you guys some updates.
Cloud9 will be playing RFS Gaming in our next round. We'll probably just be driving straight into that as soon as we can. Panda Global's taking on Kings of Blade Alpha. The winner of that will play the winner of this set. Cognitive Gaming beats Gale Force Esports. They do move on to the next round of the bracket. We still have Team Blaze versus OVO going on. 2ARC versus Blank. Tempo Storm versus Team Elevate. And Bob Ross Fan Club going up against Team Nom. So we have a lot of really cool matchups coming up today. You'll have to check in all the streams as well. But guys, we're going into our next set soon. It's going to be another Cloud9 matchup. If you guys liked it, make sure you tweet at Heroes Esports with the hashtag HGC. Let them know how hyped you were about that Shogal game. Let them know how hyped you were about Tychus, and we'll see what Cloud9 has versus RFS Gaming.
I would go so far as to say make sure that you tweet at Cloud9GG and let them know what you thought about those crazy picks, because that was an interesting game, especially iDream on the little Panda Lily.
Oh,
so
sorry,
I'm
laughing at chat right now. Oh, man.
All right, well, guys, we're going to take a quick break while we set up the next series, and we will return another best of 3. See you guys soon.